Have you ever had that feeling, that you're just sort of adrift? Like you're going through all the motions, but you're not really heading anywhere that feels meaningful? Well, let's dive into that feeling because it turns out it's one of the defining experiences of our time. And in this explainer, we're going to break down why so many of us feel lost and look at a really powerful idea for finding our way back.
I mean, this quote from a user on Reddit just nails it, doesn't it? It's not some big, loud crisis. It's that quiet, nagging feeling that your life is something that's happening to you instead of being directed by you. You feel like a passenger in your own story.
And if that sounds familiar, you are absolutely not alone. So that leads to the big question, right? What changed? Why is it that modern life, with all its amazing opportunities and connections, so often leaves us with this deep sense of being lost? Let's get into it.
So, first things first, we've got to understand the environment we're all swimming in. We're going to look at two huge problems that have really come to define our era: alienation and loneliness.
Okay, so what's so wild about this is the total flip-flop it shows. It used to be that you discovered your interests by, living. You went out, you tried something, and then you'd go seek out more information about it. But today, interests are often just handed to you by an algorithm. Information doesn't wait for you to find it. It just floods at you, grabbing your attention before you even know what you care about. And after a while, your life can start to feel like it belongs to someone or something else.
And that feeling leads right to this concept that thinkers have been warning us about for ages: alienation. Now, this is more than just feeling lonely. It's this deep estrangement, the sense that the ties have been cut to your purpose, to other people, and even to your own creativity. It's that feeling of being an outsider in your own life.
And running right alongside alienation is the modern version of loneliness. And we need to be clear, this is not the same as solitude. When you choose to be alone to think or recharge. No, this is an involuntary, dragged-out state of isolation. It's an emotional void where you feel totally cut off from real human connection, even if you're surrounded by people.
So, okay, we're disconnected, but why does it feel so stressful, like physically and mentally draining? Well, to get that, we have to look at this deep biological conflict that's right at the heart of modern life.
It all comes down to something called the evolutionary mismatch hypothesis. And it's actually pretty simple. Our bodies are basically running on ancient hardware. For hundreds of thousands of years, we evolved for a hunter-gatherer world. But in just the last couple of centuries, we've completely changed the game, and our biology just hasn't had time to catch up.
And this just illustrates the problem perfectly. Think about it. Our ancestors dealt with short-term, acute stress. A lion shows up, you have this massive physical response, fight or flight, and then the lion goes away, you recover. But modern stress, it's chronic, it's constant. Traffic, work emails, social media notifications, each one triggers that same ancient response. It's literally like facing lion after lion after lion, and your body never gets the chance to stand down.
So our biology is totally out of sync with our environment. But that vulnerability, it doesn't just exist in a vacuum. It gets magnified by the economic and technological systems we've built, systems that some critics would argue actually profit from keeping us disconnected.
Almost 200 years ago, Karl Marx was talking about a very specific kind of alienation that was tied to industrial work. He argued that when your job is just to do one repetitive task on an assembly line, you get disconnected from your own creativity, from the thing you're actually making, and from the people you work with. You basically become a cog in the machine.
And get this, he saw technology's role in this way before the internet. He pointed out that machines weren't just about being efficient. He called them a powerful weapon for weakening workers, for de-skilling their jobs, and for making it harder for them to band together and find solidarity. Now, fast forward to today, and you see this incredible contradiction. The big promise from Silicon Valley for years was all about making the world more open and connected. That was Facebook's mission statement. And yet, the rise of these exact technologies happened at the same time as what sociologists now call an epidemic of loneliness. It creates this vicious cycle where being disconnected makes us spend more time on screens, which of course generates more ad revenue.
And this isn't just a feeling. The numbers are pretty stark. A 2018 poll found that a staggering 43% of Americans reported feeling isolated from other people. That's nearly half the population feeling disconnected during what's supposed to be the most connected time in human history.
The sociologist Zygmunt Bauman had a great name for this state of being: liquid modernity. The idea is that our identities aren't stable anymore. We don't inherit them from our family or our community. Instead, your identity has become this constant do-it-yourself project. You have to invent who you are and then reinvent yourself again and again. And honestly, it can be completely exhausting. So I know the diagnosis sounds pretty grim. We're biologically mismatched, we're economically alienated, and we're existentially anxious. But in response to all this high-speed pressure, a quiet but powerful cultural revolution has been growing.
Carl Honoré, who's a really important voice in this movement, defines it perfectly here. The slow philosophy isn't about doing everything at a snail's pace. It's about choosing the right speed. It's about focusing on quality over quantity and savoring moments instead of just trying to cram more of them in.
And this idea has been building for decades. It really kicked off in 1986 with the slow food movement, which was literally a protest against a McDonald's opening in Rome. From that one protest, it grew into this global philosophy, made famous by books like Honoré's, all arguing for a more intentional way of life.
And just look at how far this idea has spread. It is so much more than just food now. There's slow fashion, which pushes back against disposable trends. Slow travel, which is about really immersing yourself in a place. Even slow technology, which is all about using our tools more mindfully. It's a real alternative to the faster is better default.
And that brings us to the most important part. Because, understanding the problem is one thing, but what can we actually do about it? How can we take this philosophy and use it in our own lives to start feeling a little less lost? Well, the path forward seems to start with small, deliberate steps. First, just create some quiet. Turn off all the inputs for a few moments every day and just listen to yourself. Ask what you really want. Second, take one small action. Pick a meaningful goal and just work on it consistently, even 10 minutes a day. It's the consistency that builds momentum. Third, go find real connection, whether it's online or in person, around things you genuinely care about. And finally, find healthier ways to get excited. Things that give you sustainable energy, not just a quick hit of dopamine.
So let's end with this question to think about. Our world is built for speed. It's engineered for constant input and chronic stress. And in the face of all that, choosing to slow down, to listen to yourself, and to act with intention, that isn't just a lifestyle choice. It's a pretty radical act of reclaiming your own life. So what's one thing you could do at the right speed, starting today?